Social networks, they're all about sharing photos of your friends and family, food, and so much more. But how can you make those photos really stand out from the rest? Joining us to share tips on making these photos really pop is Sandra Costello from SandraLovesYou.com. Sandra, this is a great segment for anyone who has a camera.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
On their smartphone, or whether it be a point and shoot or a professional camera, because they can make a big difference in the quality of their photos. We're going to start with children.
Yeah, great.
What is the first thing we should think about when we're taking pictures of our kids?
Well, you know, taking photographs of your children can be difficult, and it can lead to a little bit of trouble. So before that starts, I always say put them in the best light possible, you know? So we're going to actually talk a little bit about this picture here, and this is Audrey. What I did with Audrey was I put her against a very simple background and a very complicated, busy background. I really feel like expression is king, and so if you want to be able to focus just on the face, a simple white background is perfect, as opposed to the other background, which shows a lot of clutter. It makes it really difficult for that image to stand out. And look how cute she is, you know? She was totally into the shoot, and we really want to, you know, focus on her face.
I love that, and it's something so simple as just repositioning where they are. And if that's not an option of the background, if you can't really choose it, then you should definitely think about the lighting.
Yeah, absolutely. So in this case, you know, we had great lighting either way, so it worked. But let's look at our next image, which is over here. And Audrey,
she's so cute.
Yeah, the first image, we put her in the direct sunlight.
Yeah.
It wasn't great because look at the shadows that are being caused by her hood.
On top.
The top image. And even look at the background. A railing is kind of going into her head. There's cars in the background. It's very complicated, and it's difficult to focus on her. If you look at the image that is below it, I have put her in open shade, which basically means there's shade from a building or shade from an overhanging tree. In this case, it's winter, so there's no like tree cover. And I put her along this you know, this path here, and look how happy she is. Besides the fact that you can get reflecting light from a building, or even use the snow. Snow or a building will reflect light back into your face, and look how happy she is.
Awesome. And those are very, very simple things that you can do at home with your children to make those pictures even better. Yeah. Now let's talk about food. Whether you're a blogger or you just want to take a picture of your recipes to cherish and have your family have forever, what are some things we should think about?
Well, again, I think some of what I talked about with the portraits applies to food. You want to keep your background pretty clean, and you want to think about really, you know, clean light. So in the case of the cookies, which I think is our first image, what I've done here is I've used background light as a way to create a little bit of depth to the image, and then I have used foreground light to show off the details and all the texture of our food. One of the things that I will often do is I'll use a little piece of foam core with a bracket that I just put right in front of the subject, and that will reflect light back onto my cookies. And
you have an example of that, and that simple prop, which doesn't cost a lot of money and doesn't take a lot of time to make, can make all the difference. And as you can see in those two pictures of the cookies, everything in the photo is the same. It's just a matter of the positioning and the lighting and the technique that you suggest.
So like this is just a piece of foam core. I got a bracket at the hardware store, simple as pie. The second image, I actually used flash, so direct flash right onto the cookies.
Beautiful. Those look appetizing. The one with the shadows?
No, the one with the shadows is with direct flash, and that causes a darker background, plus it gives like this awful shadow. It's not as appealing. If I were to go and get myself a cookie, I'd go for the one on the left.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree, Sandra. Now, quickly, let's talk about the cupcakes here.
Okay, so two things about this. Think about how you might want to arrange your subject. You don't have to put everything in the middle. Actually, I often think it's best to go with something that is a little bit off-center. There is this rule called the rule of thirds, and that will help in creating a composition that's a little more dynamic. And so I think with the image that you're looking at right now, I wouldn't say that it is as dynamic. It's right in the center. I use flash. Not as great. The second image of the cupcakes that are sort of lined up along the counter, they are off to the side. They are at an intersecting point where the eye naturally will lead.
Yeah, and I think you can definitely see the difference. It's a lot more appealing. You can really see them. I love the way that you did that. And really quickly, we're out of time, Sandra, but look at this. These are your photos. All of these photos are yours. Gorgeous. clean white background. It's just stunning.
White light from the background, a little reflection back in. You get to see the texture of the food. It's nice and clean. It's beautiful.
All right, our pictures are going to be that much better now. Thanks so much, Sandra.
Thank you.
Great tips. Appreciate you being here.
It's fun.